guys, and welcome to our podcast today. We thank you for joining us. My name is Mike Belt, and I am very happy to introduce my friend Michal from Magmio.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So we're going to talk about some interesting things today. So one of the things that Michal is going to talk about with us is HFTs and the application of some FPGA cards in HFTs. So without further delay, let's just go ahead and get into this. So Michal, I would like to ask you what, not only before we talk about Magmio or anything that Magmio does as a company, can we talk about these FPGAs? Can you explain those a little bit, please?
Well, yeah, sure. FPGA stands for Field-Programmable Gate Arrays. Okay. Basically, it's a hardware which can be programmed. Mm-hmm. FPGA chips, more specifically, can be programmed to carry on specific operations and custom requirements. And in our case, what we're going to be talking about is executing the trading algorithms, to more specifically. Yeah.
Okay. So since you said that, so how can these FPGAs be used in trading?
Well, you can offload basically your algorithm, inside. You can put algorithm inside the chips, at the FPGA, and the FPGA chips can execute, as I said, the algorithm itself completely independently on the software. So that allows you to reach those, high frequency, ultra low latency, nanoseconds latencies, and by the end of the day, win more trades, and make more money. That is the typical use case that we at the Magmio we're specializing in.
Okay, so basically you could say that there's sort of a nitro boost put into this card.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand better.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Let me ask you a little bit about Magmio. So who is your customer? What are they looking for? What kind of cooperation do you offer them?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Well, Magmio is as a company, as a product, we are FPGA based ultra low latency framework, and where you put the tick to trade pipeline inside the FPGA basically. So and therefore we allow our clients, even if they have no expertise whatsoever, to use this technology in the trading and have a successful FPGA deployment. We're allowing them firstly by, like I said, offloading the critical part, trading critical part inside the FPGA, inside the chips. That means market data decoding. You basically decode the data from the exchange, as it goes. Book building, you're building the book inside the FPGA if that's a part of the project. And of course, the order entry, when you're firing, orders back to exchange, that everything happening inside the FPGA. That's the first part. The second part, of course, that we provide the API, the C++ API, the interface, which allows you to communicate with the card, which allows you to do the implementation and everything you need to know, with kind of an oversight about everything. So this is how we help our clients. To your question, what is the client? Usually is the prop trading company who don't really have the FPGA expertise, because this is still a very, I would say in-niche thing. Most people don't really know anything about it.
Right.
They don't really know that this can be used as in the trading, and we're trying to change that. So even if they really don't have any expertise in-house, because hardware designers are hard to find, they're very expensive usually, but even that we are allowing them to use it, because you only need to know C++, as your software language. And so even if they don't, even if only they know that, it's perfectly okay to use our solution, our framework. The second use case could be even the bigger companies, even if they don't have, even if they do have the FPGA in-house team, they still could use our services because they want to utilize their existing resources,
Right.
and very often their FPGA team is occupied, completely, swamped with the work, and then they want to use. It's logical only to use some kind of a third party or it could be a case to use a third party as to ways to speed things up, a little bit,
Right.
because you have an idea, you have some kind of algo which which is latency sensitive algo, which means that if you were to get faster, you would win more trades and make more money. So,
which is the ultimate goal.
Right. Yeah. By the end of the day. So, and if you're not fast enough in the software, because there are only so much the software can, manage, basically, you can achieve only certain level of latencies with software. And if that's not good enough, the FPGA, it's that logical next step, which will get you over the line, which will get you into that nanosecond latencies, I would say, areas.
Right.
So the whole Magmio is like I would describe it as a software development kit for a better imagination. But instead of CPU, your algo is running on the chip on the card, so which you plugged into the data center of the exchange itself,
Right.
So,
and then it's just super fast.
And then you're, in some cases you are quite literally challenging the laws of physics, the speed of light and that kind of stuff. It's all very technical. It sounds cool, but it's really like that. Yeah,
it does sound amazing, and you're talking about time sensitivity in training, and of course the goal is to be effective, make money. So let's just say that when we talk about time sensitivity, I'm a customer. I meet you. I'm introduced to Magmio. Getting this thing started and seeing some results at the end are very important to me. So what kind of time frame are we looking at and getting this cooperation going and seeing some results?
Yeah, well, it's all about the priorities, I would say. So at the very beginning it's always a full of conversation between us and potential clients, because we need to have this kind of a conversation at the beginning to really understand what they're trying to achieve, and if the FPGA is a good way forward, because it may not be, it may not be, and it's only logical to, say sooner rather than later, just to find out. So,
sure.
But after that, in the general, from the big picture side, it's pretty straightforward. You have to get the card. You have to plug it inside the data center of the exchange, because you need to be as close as possible to the exchange to get the lowest possible data, ideally direct market access, to be directly collocated, as they say, to the exchange. And then it's all about getting your algo inside the card and, get started. But the low level data is really, really important. That's because if you don't really have that in place, if you don't really have that infrastructure in place, you would lose the race even before you enter it. So, and that doesn't really matter. This doesn't really make any sense. So that's really important. But what I would like to say at this point is that you don't really want to start with FPGA. They don't really want to. You don't want to start with the card itself.
Okay, your focus and Magmio's focus is the FPGA. Yeah. But you're saying don't start with the card.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but well, you can imagine that this is a very difficult project, to be deployed, and to have it and to be successful in this industry, you need to be really careful, and you need to test a lot, and this is a big investment, and to which takes a lot of risks, So to ease that risk, what we've done and how we, advise our clients to start, and what is the typical way how to get started with us is with evaluations. We call them evaluation. The very first is software evaluation. It basically means that we've built the software model, which is a C++ representation of our FPGA framework. So everything is there, like market data decoding, order entry, everything, but everything is just a software. So which can be sent, which can be offloaded to the clients quite easily. It's just a link.
Okay.
And this is a very first step how they can start playing with it. So, but it's still a software. You don't really need a card. You don't really have to have it at this point. But you can get very easily familiar with interface, with the API, with the implementation, everything you need to know. You can get familiar with that, as a CEO of the company or your team, your project manager. Especially if you don't really have any expertise with FPGA. That's very, very important, because there are going to be a lot of things which are completely new. So. And it's sometimes very, very difficult to wrap your head around it,
Right.
And you will have a lot of questions, and we're trying to help the clients as much as possible. So this model is basically, this software evaluation has two parts. It's first this the model, as I said, for interface, implementation, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And the second is HLS compiler.
Okay.
This HLS compiler, it's a tool, well-known tool, I think, made by Xilinx, big company. And it's a compiler for C++ code into the VHDL or Verilog hardware languages. It's a very, very important part, because basically what it tells you is two things. The first thing is, if you put your algo and have it translated, convert into hardware languages, it will tell you first the resources consumption, basically how big, how complex your strategy is, and whatever it can be fitted inside a card, because it may not be, because it might be too complex, too big. If you have too many symbols, too many orders, too many stuff, which is very common when you trade in software. Because in software you can quite literally decide how much memory you want to use on the fly, but you can't do that in FPGA. There is no dynamic allocation memory, anything like that. So you have to know beforehand, if it can be fit. If it not, you have to do things differently.
Right.
But if it can be, that's a good news. And the second thing which will tell you, the report which will tell you, is the latency. How fast basically you are going to be with this specific algo, which you have, So that is the software evaluation. In ideal world, what we're telling our clients, that once you get the ball rolling, in the software evaluation, and you have maybe 1 month, and you like what you see, and this is good, and this might be the good path forward. You order the card at the same time. So while you're testing in the software, you're still waiting for the card. So you're using the time, in a smart way.
Right.
And once you get the card, because there is some kind of a lead time, before you get it, you should be ready to just take your work, which you've already done in the software, and basically put it inside the card. Basically just don't take me literally, but copy paste the stuff, from the software, and then put it on the hardware, because the interface is going to be the same. So there's nothing new, about that, So it's going to be 95% the same, not 100%, because there are still differences between hardware and software, something which cannot be simulated.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, but most of it will be the same, and that's a very good news. And once you get a card, like I said, like we talk about it, you plug it inside a data center with the direct market access, with the data, and you start testing, still testing with the card, see how it behaves and what algo is doing, because this is all very important, And yeah, so this is how you test. And once you are ready, once you like what you see and you think are ready, the next, of course, the next logical step is to production trading. I mean, live trading on the exchange.
Okay. So I think a lot of people are probably waiting to ask this question then, so, we're talking about the stock exchange. So what exchange do you actually work with?
Well, we work with various exchanges all over the world. Historically, we've started in USA on NYSE and NASDAQ, and then we've edited CME and BADS, and now we basically support all of the major exchanges in USA. Now we've added a long time ago Eurex in Frankfurt in Germany. Now we're working closely with NSE India, National Stock Exchange of India. We're working on in Turkey, in Borsa Istanbul. So it's all over the world. We're just about to add Thai exchange in Thailand. We're very excited about that. And we're looking closely at Brazil, the B3 exchange, third biggest commodity exchange in the world right now. I think that's going to be very nice exchange to have.
Sure.
So we're looking at Singapore exchange as well. So we're usually very clients driven. So if somebody comes to us and say, "Hey, I want this exchange," I would like, sure, yeah,
right.
Even if you don't have that, for us, it's not that big an issue to add a new exchange, So because everything is the templates and everything is very generic, we made it that way. So with us, even the time to market is much more, swift, because setting up all of that by yourself, that would take years, This is just a matter of, weeks and months, So
and that's where you and Magmio made it easier for your clients.
Sure,
this is your expertise.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like the market data protocols and low-level programming and that kind of stuff. You don't really want to focus on that. Like this is if you're a trader and if you're out there trading every day, fighting to make money, you don't want to take care about some low-level FPGA programming that nobody really knows anything about, and some weird protocols which comes from the exchange. You want to have it covered, completely. And this is what we do. You want to focus just on your algo because by the end of the day, this is what it's going to make you money, right? This is your bread and butter.
Right.
Yeah, you want to have as good as possible as it possibly can be. And this is like what we're saying, to our clients. Like, you take care of your algo, which you don't really share with us at any point. That I think that's very important to mention.
Yeah.
That we made it that way. That is, we understand that because they are really secretive when it comes to that.
Sure.
Like I said, which is understandable. So you focus on that, and we just focus on everything else. The low-level programming, the IP cores, market data decoding, book building, that kind of stuff. We take care of everything, and you just focus on the business.
Yeah,
and that's very, very important. And plus, it's not going to take 2 years to be deployed.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you have the algo now, right? You have the algorithm which is suitable, which is which can be good right now, and a lot of things may change in 2 years, for example.
Exactly.
So that's very important.
So obviously a lot of exchanges are supported, and you're open to more, but there's another big topic today, and it's crypto.
Yeah.
So what about crypto? Is that available for exchange or with this program? Or
well, the short answer is no. We don't really do crypto.
Okay.
The reason being, of course, is I think it's logical because we have talk about exchanges and direct market access and stuff like. None of this is in this exact sense is with crypto. This is the FPGA and HFT is really about centralization. You have one exchange, one market data, and you want to be as close as possible to achieve these latencies. But crypto is kind of the opposite, right? everything is happening everywhere.
Right.
It's really about decentralization. That was the whole idea about that, like to be decentralized. So,
Exactly. Right.
So, but once there's going to be suitable use case for it, we're definitely going to be looking into it, and we're going to be supporting that.
Okay.
It's not like we're, against it or close to it, but we don't really see the viable use case now.
Right.
But like I said, when there will be the case,
right,
we will be there.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes sense. When you said it's decentralized and you're working with centralized, it's very, like you said, it's opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, So working with somebody that can participate in this and wants to participate in this, how does your business work? How does it work?
Yeah. We like to keep things simple. Mm-hmm. So it's basically we just license our IPs every month, So I often say it's like Netflix. So you just have to pay every month and you can stop anytime. Mm-hmm. And so it's not really the one-time thing payment, nothing like that. It's just it's licensing. It's a licensing structured, and the part of it, of course, is not just IPs, but also our time. Customer support, new features. The clients want to add, and the stuff like that. So you just because. Quite frankly, any long-term contract, anything like that doesn't really work in this business because, a lot of things can change within quite fast, and you don't want to be stuck in a contract which doesn't really work for you, so
if my strategy changes, I can give you notice within a month.
Sure. Yeah.
And stop my payment and.
Yeah, of course, we're going to we will do everything, we know, we'll do our best, not to happen, not to let it happen. If you know what I mean? Of course, but it could happen. Yeah. Of course it could happen that the use case, which was successful yesterday, will not be successful tomorrow.
Right.
And then it's really important to have this freedom.
Exactly.
To say, not just I want to cancel it, not to use it ever again, but rather I would like to take a pause, maybe just to refocus, I want to focus on the different strategies, maybe just, back to the drawing boards, and I will come back to you, So that's what we prefer actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And I think I think businesses would like to hear that. So, okay. So, working in all of this and with all this, what is the cooperation like between the client, customer, and Magmio?
Yeah, I think that the crucial period of time is still the testing. What I was talking about, that the software evaluation, hardware evaluation.
Right.
This is where the most of the communication is happening, and this is for us. It's a crucial part of the whole project because. Like I said, it's difficult to wrap your head around it, especially if you're coming from the software world and this is suddenly the hardware world, and a lot of things are different. So we like to work on this partnership, cooperation basis when we tend to, we all call ourselves a partners, in that, we're really in this together. Because this is, like I said, because this is not a one-time thing. It's not like we build something and just send it and now it's on you and off to go. But no. So we're trying to be, in touch with the clients every day. On if we're using Slack or Google Chat, just messaging all the time, exchanging ideas, solving problems, because this is, by the end of the day, this is all about solving problems, solving problems together. So, having the weekly calls, monthly calls, but I want to emphasize, that period of testing, which might take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, there is no specific, we don't really tell the clients how long this is supposed to take.
Right.
So That's a very crucial idea when we are quite literally in touch every day, all the time, just to try to navigate them, all the time, and we're just trying our best, to show them the ropes, at the beginning, and once they really understand the product, the framework and everything, that's the most important thing that for us to happen.
Exactly.
So
right. That's when you've done well.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So just we're trying to be as supportive as we possibly can be, and it's not really that difficult because the guys, they love what they do. They really love working on it. And they really enjoying it.
Okay.
So
you're talking about more of the people involved with Magmio. So there's obviously the expertise part of Magmio, but if we got away from the expertise, what other added value would you say there is in cooperating with or someone that chooses to work with Magmio?
Well, I would have to say the team, because apart from the expertise, which is obviously there because we have been doing this for almost 10 years. Like the guys, they have been doing this for almost 10 years. So there isn't much they don't know about the FPGA, the technology. But there's still a lot of, they know about the trading itself, because it's the connection of two worlds, right? The technology, the FPGA technology, hardware technology, and the trading. And you have to know the both. But so the expertise is really there. But apart from that, we're still young. The guys, they're still, young team, young guys, nothing, too serious, anything like that, So this human approach, I would call it, it's also very important, and something that we're making sure that it's always there, So right. I would definitely call this as added value, the whole team and the whole, the spirit of the company, the still young spirit, because I would say that average age of the company is like 32, maybe 33 years old. So most of the guys, they're still quite young.
Yeah.
And like I said, they love what they do. And I think that it doesn't matter what kind of industry it is. It doesn't really matter what you do. You always kind of know if somebody likes what they're doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when you said that. Yeah. That's a deciding factor between working with somebody sometimes and not working with somebody sometimes. If they don't like what they're doing, I don't know if I want to be involved with them.
Yeah, because it's interesting, because there are like everybody knows the software development, building apps, and applications and whatever. And not everybody knows anything about the hardware. There is some kind of hardware which can be programmed, but they teach that at school. But most of the people, they really, like, at least what I've heard, because I'm not a developer myself, but a lot of guys, they kind of like, and a lot of people are, kind of ignoring it, and they just want to focus on the software. But those few who stuck with hardware, they're really into hardware, and they really want to like do that. Like they want to really building the hardware. So and FPGAs and everything. So, and that makes them even better, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and this is that's this spirit, as I call it, like really flows around the company. So.
Good.
Yeah, and that I would say that is I think it's enjoyable. To work with somebody who work like that, feels that way.
Absolutely. So all right. So as we get ready to wrap these things up, I think if somebody's listening and they're intrigued by this information, maybe it's new to them, maybe they know a little bit about it, but they want more information. How can they go about getting more information? Is there someplace available to download some information, easily accessible?
Sure. Well, they can go to, I think the easiest way, they can go to our website, magmio.com. And there are a lot of useful information. The stuff I talked about how to get started, about the product, the individual IPs, and you can download, a lot of stuff, product brief over there, and all the information over there.
Okay.
But I think the easiest way how to get the ball rolling is to write us a message, and we will be in touch, and we schedule a call or something, and we'll give some kind of a really good introduction.
Okay. That's the easiest way, I guess. What if somebody wants to run into you in person somewhere? I mean, are you guys out? You guys are global.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're based, like I said, we're based in Czech Republic, in Brno. Right. So if anybody's interested, to visit this beautiful city, they're more than welcome. But apart from that, we're trying to attend as many conferences as possible. I just came back from London last year, but what we're planning right now is to FIA Chicago Expo in Chicago. We're doing this basically every year.
Okay.
So we're going to have a booth there. I'm going to be there, and one of my colleagues will be there. Right. So that's basically the easiest way to meet us. To have a coffee and discuss the FPGA and hardware acceleration and anything. So
Great.
And that I don't know. I think it's first week in October. I think it's the FIA. In this year. So
okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So, but it will definitely, more info will definitely be in our website. So
okay,
you can just check it out.
Awesome. Well, Michael, I can't thank you enough on behalf of myself, but on behalf of Magmio.
Yeah, sure. Thank
the information that you've given. I want to thank him, Magmio, and all of this information about how to advance your trading and your business and that bottom line, making more money. So if you do want to have more information, don't forget magmio.com. You can go there and download some more information. And as Michael mentioned, you may have an opportunity even to meet him face-to-face in Chicago and have a coffee. So thank you for visiting with us today. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for watching. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.